Hello everyone, welcome to our new module. So this time we will talk about linear equation. So these are our objectives. We will define linear equation in one variable and differentiate our previous lesson expressions from our current lesson, which is all about equations. And finally, we will try to verify if the given value is a solution to an equation. So the best way to easily understand equation is to think of a balance. So if you try to recall from your previous lessons, even in grade school or even the previous chapter, balance is an instrument that can show if two quantities are equal in weight. So the concept is similar when we try to deal with equation in mathematics. So when we talk about equation, it is an it is a mathematical statement showing that two quantities are equal by using the symbol which is an equal sign. So for example, if we have 2 plus 1 is equal to 3, so we can consider that this is an equation because 2 plus 1 is just the same as 3. Same here. The ones on the left side of our equation, which is 2 times 3 plus 6, is just the same as 12 on the right side. If you will simplify 2 times 3, that's a 6. And when you add 6 with a 6, that's also 12, which will make it equal. And same here. We have 3 times 2 plus 4 on the left side, and you have 2 plus 8 on the right side. So they might look like different. They may look different from each other, but in terms of its value, they're just the same. Because 3 times 2 is 6, and when you add 6 with 4, that's a 10. Same as 2 plus 8, that's a 10. So they're just equal. So let's try to make a connection from these examples to what we will really encounter in algebra. So if you try to recall, algebra is more on dealing with variables where variables represents a certain value. So in connection to the example that we have in here, so just try to imagine there are times that we do not know a certain part of it. So just like this, what if we don't know that it's a 2? So if we don't know that it's a 2, we normally represent it with a variable. So variable can be any letter in the alphabet. So for example, we have M. So let's represent something that we don't know with a variable M. And you will have the equation M plus 1 is equal to 3. How about here? 2 times 3 plus 6 is equal to 12. What if we do not know that this is a 3? So normally, um, when we do not know something, we represent it with a variable again. So this time we will be using another letter in the alphabet, which is an X. So again, it's not just limited to X and Y, which is usually the common misconception of people, that variable will always be X and Y. So you have here 2x plus 6 is equal to 12. So just remember that without anything between a coefficient and a variable, that means it's multiplication. So it's okay not to enclose x with a parenthesis anymore. And finally, what if here we don't know that this is a 2? So we represent it with a variable, and this time we will be using w. So from this example to something that we don't know, so we can have 3w plus 4 is equal to w plus 8. So isipin niyo na lang pag gumagamit tayo ng equation, merong certain part ng ating equation na hindi natin alam. We represent that with a variable. So, what is now the exact definition of equation when we have it in algebra? So it is actually a mathematical statement showing that two expressions are equal. So ibig sabihin nito, if we try to connect our previous lesson from our current lesson, um, think as if there are two expressions given to you, and these two expressions are has a meaning that both of them are equal. So the ones on the left side of the equal sign is an expression. The ones on the right side of the equation is also an expression. That makes it 2. So let's focus more on 2x plus 6 is equal to 12. What makes an equation different from expression? So when you deal with equation, what is very obvious is that there is an equal sign. Expression doesn't have. In terms of language, expression is just a phrase, while an equation is an equation. Is a sentence, I mean, because it conveys complete meaning. So for example, for this one, it doesn't have an equal sign, but in terms of translation, we just say twice x plus 6. But it doesn't mention what is the exact value of this 2x plus 6. Unlike an equation, it conveys to us that the, the 2x plus 6 is exactly 12. So um, one obvious one obvious thing that you will really notice in equation in terms of translation is that there is a linking verb. Usually it's an is, are, or was. In terms of value, because the variable represents a certain number, right? In an expression, 2x plus 6, the x in here can be any real number because it doesn't convey complete thought. So it can be 1, it can be 4, it could be 1 million or -6, -100, square root of 2, and etc. Because it did not say that what is the exact value of this 2x plus 6. Unlike an equation, there will be only one value for x that will make it true. So, for example, what if we replace x with a 1? 2 times 1 is 2 plus 6 is 8, in which 8 is not equal to 12. The only number that will make it true is 3, because 3 times 2 is 6, then 6 plus 6 is 12. And if I will try to challenge you, you cannot think of any value of x that will make this equation true. That when you try to multiply with the 2 and add it with the 6, no number aside from 3 that will make it a 12. So that makes expression different from equation. Expression, x can be any real number that we know, but when we deal with equation, we only have specific number of value for the variable that will make it true. So, for grade 7, our focus is only more on linear equation in one variable. So, why is it so called as linear equation in one variable? So, we already know that equation shows to us two expressions which are equal. But when we hear the word linear, from our previous lesson again, linear refers to the degree. And the highest degree must be a 1. So, ibig sabihin nun, yung mga exponent ng ating variables, the highest would only be 1. Okay? It is so also called as first degree equation. Aside from we say it's a linear equation. And what makes it one variable? Again, this is from our previous lesson again. When we say in one variable, it will only show us one variable in one equation. So, one variable at a time. Kung x lang talaga yung makikita natin sa equation natin. So, an example for that would be 2x plus 6 is equal to 12. So, bakit siya naging linear equation in one variable? So, take note that this x in here is the only variable that you see. You don't see a y, you don't see a z. Then, at the same time, the degree of this x is a 1. So this makes it a linear equation. Now, what are the different parts of an equation? As I mentioned a while ago, the left side is an expression, the right side is also an expression. And we're saying that they're equal. The ones on the left part of our equation, the first expression, the 2x plus 6, is so-called as our left-hand side of the equation. And this symbol in here conveys to us the relationship symbol of the expression, which is an equal sign for now. And the ones on the right, the second expression, the ones on the right side of our equal sign, it's our right-hand side of the equation. So kung may magdi-discuss sa inyo, they will usually use the following terms: left-hand side, right-hand side, so that you will be guided on what is happening in the discussion. Now, as I said a while ago, the only value that will make this expression, and this equation I mean, a true statement is 3. So if x is 3, we just have to replace x with a 3. So that kind of process is so-called as substitution. So we already talked about this during module, I think that was module 3. Yes, that was module 3. When you use the word substitute, that means you're replacing a variable with a real number. And what we are replacing right now with x is the real number 3. Then, we just have to follow PEMDAS based from what we know before. So the left-hand side, 2 times 3 is 6. Then finally, you add the 6, you get a 12. So as you can see, the left-hand side of the equation and the right-hand side of the equation are both the same. Therefore, it's equal. In other words, this 3 in here is a solution or root to the equation. So, how do we define now solution or root? Solution or root means it is a real number, and when you substitute it for the variable in the equation, it makes the equation true. So, for this equation, the solution is only 3 and nothing else. If you think, or if you want to try another number that will be substituted to x, it will make it a false statement. So let's try to practice that some more, verifying if the given values of x are solutions to the equation. So our equation in here is x minus 6 is equal to 4. Again, this x minus 6 is the left-hand side of the equation. The 4 is the right-hand side of the equation. So let's try to verify if 10 will make this equation a true statement. So what we will do is just to substitute by replacing x with a 10. But 10 minus 6 is 4. And it's now the same as the right-hand side of the equation. So therefore, we put a check mark as an indicator that it will end up to be a true statement. How about if it's an 8? Okay, let's try. If you will substitute 8 to x, so you have 8 minus 6, which will give us a 2. And if you notice, yung left side natin at saka right side, hindi magkapareho. So they're not equal. Or in other words, it's a false statement. So we put a slash as an indicator that they will not be equal. So, as a conclusion, okay, 10 is a solution to the equation, but yung 8, hindi siya solution ng ating equation. Because it will not make it a true statement. It will end up to be false statement. So how do we write this statement in a shorthand? Because in math, we make sure that things are short. or ideas are short. Kasi minsan pag medyo ang dami-dami nating iniisip at sinusulat pa natin sila at ang haba-haba, there's a tendency that a part of our idea will be lost. So that's why we're making things short. So how do we write this in a short manner? So we just say SS. Anong ibig sabihin ng SS? Ibig sabihin yan, solution set. So this word set is our lesson in module 2, if you remember, in first quarter. So this is a set of solutions. Solutions that will make the equation a true statement. So our solution set must be written in raster notation. So ibig sabihin is we will really list down the values of x that will make it a true statement. And for now, it's only 10. Hindi pwede 8, hindi natin ilalagay si 8 dito kasi yung sa nakikita natin, 'di ba, false yung result kung yung x natin is magiging 8. So, let's be careful. Sometimes when we write our final answer, written in raster notation, yung nasusulat natin is yung 4 at hindi yung 10. So, remember, yung 4 natin, hindi yan yung ating solusyon. Yung solution natin is kung ano yung pinalit natin sa x natin. Okay? So, that's a 10, not a 4. So again, brace SS as an abbreviation of solution set, then colon, and then braces, and you put 10 inside it. Okay, let's try another one. So our equation now is x plus 4 is equal to 2x minus 2. Our first expression is x plus 4, which is the left-hand side of our equation. The right-hand side of the equation is 2x minus 2, which is our second expression. So, two expressions which are equal. Now, what if x is a negative 6? So, let's try to verify if negative 6 is a solution to the equation. So, we substitute. Okay. X becomes negative 6 in both sides of our equation. So, negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2. On the right side, we start with multiplication. So you multiply 2 times negative 6, it's negative 12. And finally, negative 12 minus 2, that will become negative 12 plus negative 2. So same sign, add and keep. So magiging negative 14. So if you notice, the left side becomes negative 2, right side becomes negative 14. So they're not equal. So as a conclusion, negative 6 is not a solution to the equation. Kasi yung result niya naging false statement. But what if it's a 6, not a negative 6? So we copy our equation and then we substitute 6 to x. 6 plus 4 is 10. And on the right side, 2 times 6 is 12. Then 12 minus 2 is 10. So, yung left natin at saka right, pareho. So, we put a check mark as an indicator that it is a true statement. Kasi magkapareho na sila. So, therefore, 6 is a solution, but negative 6 is not a solution. And as I said, we have to write our answer in a short manner using the raster notation. So that's SS. Okay, and you include here 6 inside the braces. So take note, hindi 10 yung ilalagay natin kung ano yung pinalit natin sa x. Yan yung ilalagay natin sa ating solution set.